Hey yo, what's good? We're here, back again, on Simply Shanalee, and in today I'm making blueberry pie. Yay! So I love blueberry pie. Fun fact, last year I made a blueberry pie and nobody ate it. So I ate the entire pie by myself, and I had 9 slices of pie in 2 days because I also had a slice of an apple pie. So yeah, given a whole day, I could probably eat a whole pie. So I won't be doing that again. But today, we're doing blueberry pie. And honestly, you can call it a berry pie because I end up putting some raspberries in there for a little pizzazz, but you'll see when we get there. So what we're going to do is thoroughly inspect our blueberries. Some of them have little leaves on it, some of them have little stems, and some of them just have a little fuzzy mold stuff on it. You know, these grocery stores, I'm sorry, but you gotta do better. My mom just told me how there was a loaf of bread in the grocery store that was completely green, full of mold, and it was still on the shelves. Like, what are you doing? Please, like, have someone inspect the food that is on your shelves because I hate when I grab fruit and it's like moldy on the bottom or in a spot that I can't see. So thoroughly inspect these, you guys. Take out any, ugly ones. It's okay if they're ugly, but we don't want that today. So go through, I take my time here and I really inspect them, make sure there's no, thorns or anything. I don't know. So rinse those off as well, really, really thoroughly, because that will ensure that they're, again, for a second round, there's nothing, no impurities. All right, I had pre-made my dough, my pie crust, as you see in the little green silicone mat. You guys have seen me make pie dough many, many times, but this time I think I got it down. We're gonna zest this lemon on a microplane grater, and then after that we're gonna squeeze the lemon. And I learned from my previous blueberry pie you don't want to put too much lemon juice. I accidentally put too much in my previous pie and it was just a little too lemony. I did not really like as much lemon in it. So I'm not putting a lot of lemon juice this time. Just a few squeezes is all you really need. So yeah, I didn't include my actual pie crust recipe, what I do for my pie crust, but the more you practice and the more you bake and spend time in the kitchen, the better you will get and the better your outcome will be. So it just takes time and patience, and eventually you will get it, I promise. And this batch of pie crust came out so perfect. It was the best consistency. As you guys know, I get all my recipes from Preppy Kitchen. We're gonna go ahead and put a half cup of white cane sugar on our blueberries, and then we're going to take 1/4 cup of cornstarch. This is going to thicken everything and make it all coagulated together when it bakes. And we're just going to mix all that together. It's going to form almost like a pasty, a pink paste, and that's exactly what we want. Spray down your countertop. I washed my hands before and after multiple times during this recipe. Keep it clean, keep it cute, right? Okay, glad that we're on the same page. All right, taking out my pie crust. It has been sitting out on the countertop for about 20 minutes to come back to room temperature from resting in the fridge for about 2 hours. So get your rolling pin and take out some flour. You're going to need your muscles for this part. You're going to liberally flour your station and flour your crust, as well as your, I almost said pinwheel, your rolling pin. And what I'm going to do actually is cut this batch in half so that I have enough for my lattice top and enough for my bottom crust. You can do this in advance if you want, but I just did it this way. Alright, so I'm going to start in the middle of my pie crust and kind of work my way to the outer edges. I am applying enough pressure, you guys, so that, it flattens. and I'm working on getting back that round shape. So I'm not too concerned right now about the thinness. I just want to get it back to a round shape, and then that's when you use like the base of your hands and you start really pushing and evenly, you know, dispersing the crust. It's a lot of work, and it's tiring, but it's love, and I put a lot of love and care and dedication into my baking so that I can get better and I can grow. And yeah, so I've learned that the best method to do is probably not the plop method that I usually do. I'm gonna actually professionally roll this onto my pan, take my greased pan or pie dish, and I'm going to gently lay it over the top of my dish. I got no cracking for the first time like ever. It came out beautifully. The texture, so amazing. So I'm kind of just going to feed that into the dish really lightly. I'm sorry, there's a lot going on in my house right now. I'm going to lightly press it into the dish, and my favorite part about the crust, I think, is cutting the edges. There's something so satisfying about cleaning off the edges and like getting that nice crispiness, you know? Just watch. Just watch. You want to make sure to save any scraps as well in case you have to band-aid your crust, or if you want to add like a cute little braided border, you can do that too, or a decoration on top of your pie. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry about the dings, but I can't get up right now. Like right here, I kind of need to just band-aid it a little bit. Okay, now we're doing the same exact thing all over again for our lattice top. This you want to make sure is really thin, but not too thin. You want it to hold up because we are going to be like folding it over a few times. So not too thin, but definitely a little bit thinner than the bottom crust. We're going to take our filling and we're going to pour it into our pie. Unfortunately, my grocery store only had the small containers of blueberries, which I was super annoyed at because I could already tell it was not enough berries. I like my pies to be nice and thick and girthy and have weight to them, so I was a little annoyed that I didn't have enough blueberries for my pie, so I ended up just grabbing a handful of raspberries that I had already purchased, and I broke them up just to add an extra little layer of volume to the top of the pie. I did not even taste them, to be honest, in the pie, but it does give a little bit of a juicy zing to the pie. I really liked it. Again, I hardly tasted it, so it primarily was a blueberry pie, but if you want to consider this just a berry pie, you can go ahead and, you know, it's whatever you want to do. It's whatever you want to call it. Alright, so obviously your oven should be preheated. I believe mine was preheated to about 425, and then like halfway through I lowered it. So here you want to lightly dust flour on your knife and cut your strips of lattice. I do about just shy of an inch because I don't want it to be too wide, but also I want it to be thick enough. I do them all evenly. You don't have to do them perfectly. You don't have to even do them evenly. If you want a quirky, like cute pie, you can go ahead and do what feels right for you. I'm just lightly cutting this because I have my silicone mat underneath and I don't want to ruin that. Someone used my mat and cut on top of my mat, so it has like one slice in the middle, and I'm pretty upset about it, but I'm not worried about it. Anyway, when you are doing your lattice top, it's important to be patient and to have a really gentle touch. This crust is really delicate and it can break and crumble fairly easily. So you want to make sure you're being really light-handed with everything and you're just working nice and slow and at a good pace. I've learned over the course of, I've actually just started baking kind of this year, seriously. So I've learned the slower you go with more care and more mindfulness, the better your result will come out. So just have fun. I do this as like a therapeutic way of expressing myself, and also I just love gifting things to people. And if I can make something handmade that's, you know, made out of love and effort and time, like I'm gonna do that. So with your lattice, you want to just follow the pattern of every other strand. Lift it up, place it stripped down. Again, do the opposite strands. Um, and yeah, so this time I finally feel like I got my lattice down, I got my crust down, I got my perfect pie that I've always wanted to make. It's been a struggle. My upcoming apple pie was, you know, it was interesting. As you could see, this one obviously came after my apple pie, but I'm actually posting this one before my apple pie. So if my apple pie looks a little less pretty, it's because I was still trying to perfect my routine and everything. So this is like my final yay, I did it moment. But in the next video of my apple pie, if she looks a little, you know, hurt, I was still learning at the time and I have evolved since then. But yeah, you're just gonna wrap up your lattice top. You're gonna cut off the edges. Love cutting off the edges. I live for it. I don't know why. And then you're gonna pop this in the oven, like I said, probably around like 420 for about 30 minutes, and then you want to lower it. I lowered mine to 370-ish or 350-ish, and then I did that for maybe like 20 minutes. So you don't want to go like over 50 minutes. It'll still cook when it's out of the oven as well. I put mine in the fridge because I was gifting it the next day. The dogs are running. I'm very sorry. That's it for this video. Try this pie. It's so freaking good. I love you. Subscribe. Spread peace, love, and positivity. Happy holidays, you guys. Mwah. Bye-bye.